Are you ready to take a look at the most impactful approach to increasing profit in your trades business? This is what it is. It's called the five ways profit chassis. We're after three results in our trades business. We're after customers to work with, and we're after revenue or sales, and we're after gross profit. What produces customers is our marketing, which produces leads, and our sales process, which produces a conversion rate. Our repeat business is measured in average number of transactions in a year. Next, we look at average dollar sale. Customers by average number of transactions by average dollar sale gives us our revenue figure for the year. After we pay for our variable expenses, we retain out of that revenue a percentage of gross margin. Revenue by gross margin percentage gives us the gross profit dollar figure that we have in the business in the year. So we're going to look at a tree service business. These numbers are loosely representative of what a tree service business might expect, okay? Last year, this business had 1,000 leads in the year, and their salesmanship closed 30% of those leads, which means the math's pretty easy there, right? They had 300 customers across the year. Now, some of those customers did business with them more than once in the year. They've got several property managers that they work with and several HOAs that they work with. And those folks many times will do multiple transactions in a year. So most of their residential customers did one transaction in the year, and a few of them did more than one transaction. On average, 1.2 transactions across all of their customer base is what they experienced. And the average dollar sale per invoice was $2,000. Some people spent $800, some people spent $8,000, but the average across everything that happened was $2,000. 300 by 1.2 by 2,000 gives this business a revenue for last year of $720,000. And after paying for their variable expenses, their labor, and their materials in providing that were required to provide those services, they retained 55% margin to create a $396,000 gross profit in this business. For our illustration, year over year, we're going to use really a simple math. We're going to use a 10% increase in each of these five areas in this business. Now, that is really just moving the needle a little bit. This is not massive jumps forward in the business, okay? These are small incremental changes in several areas of focus in the business. So we're going to say 10% increase all the way through the five ways. We're going to improve our marketing. We're going to lean on our database and communicate better with them. You know, there's dozens and dozens of ways that we can improve our marketing. All we're talking about accomplishing, though, year over year is a 10% increase. So if we had 1,000 leads last year, that means that we will have 1,100 leads in this business the next year with slightly improved marketing. Our sales process, we're going to focus on communicating more effectively with our customers, put together some material, some printed material that we can hand them, which helps us stand out against other tree folks that they may be talking to about their project. A 10% increase in conversion rate takes this from 30% to 33%. 10% increase. So 1,100 by 33% means that the new customer base year over year is 363 customers. Next, we're going to look at repeat business. The average number of transactions, same thing. We're going to increase that by 10%. We can focus a little bit heavier on HOAs and property managers and that type of business. 1.2 with a 10% increase becomes 1.32, a slight increase. Same thing with average dollar sale. Now, average dollar sale could be just a price increase, but it also could be add-on services. If you do plant health care in this tree business and you've only done tree removal before, you could add that service in, and some people choose to engage that. So the average dollar sale was $2,000 last year. A 10% increase on that number brings it to $2,200, right? So 363 by 1.32 by 2,200 means that the new revenue for this business year over year is $1,054,152. Now, gross margin represents the efficiency by which you operate your business. So as your crews become more proficient and as you've got team members that are focused on getting the job done safely, getting the job done efficiently, if we can accomplish more work in less time, then the business makes more profit, right? So we're going to say there's a 10% increase in gross margin by way of improving the efficiency in the business. So 55%, 10% increase on that would take it to 60.5%. And our new gross profit figure, that's $1,054,152 by 60.5%, means that year over year we now have $637,762 in gross profit. Now the numbers look great here, right? But the bigger story is the percentage increase. 300 to 363 represents a 21% increase in number of customers we're working with. The revenue increases by 46% year over year, and the gross profit increases, the gross profit increases by 61% year over year. That is a massive increase in gross profit. And most all of that gross profit drops straight to the bottom line to improve your net profit significantly. The trades businesses that we work with, we live and breathe these numbers. We look at it at first on an annual basis. And if you've got different significant categories of services or products in your business, for instance, in this tree business, plant health care would behave financially a lot different than tree removal does. So we will want to, in your business, look at different categories where we would need a separate five ways. Now it all rolls up into combined numbers at the end, but when we're making plans for our marketing and plans for our average dollar sale, how to improve each of these numbers in your business, we want to look at it by category of products and services as it makes sense. And I can tell you from experience that year after year after year, we can accomplish these types of gains so that a business that's doing 7 or 800,000 over a few years time, we can get them to 5, 10, 12, $15 million in sales because we are focused on this in the business. You cannot effectively manage what you have not first measured. So we want to manage these 5 areas in your business particularly well, which means that we can have leveraged and compounded improvements. But we can't do that effectively until we've measured it first. That's your homework. Work out the 5 ways for the last 12 months in your business.